Poverty pushed me to live on water alone for a month. I need a president who can give me an iced tea instead for the coming years.
You know what your ex and the government have in common? They both break promises. Okay, it wasn't so funny. Oh, shh.
Every good and bad turn of our lives stem from how we make our decisions. The more you know, the more room you have for better options. Otherwise, you're more likely to get stuck with the least favorable ones. Thus, it is imperative for one to possess good decision-making skills in order to meet life's challenges. This then leads us to point number 1.
There's no better way to master quality decision-making than being in school. A higher thinking capacity is likely to compel one to think his way out of poverty, instead of just being solely reliant on others or burying himself down with self-pity. However, poverty hinders acquisition of such a skill by weakening the poor's access to education.
It's one thing to be unemployed and another to be underpaid. Recent macroeconomic statistics show that only 30% of the unemployed population is poor. That only goes to show that unemployment isn't a bigger issue here. Poverty persists due to underpayment despite the high employment rate of the poor. This now brings us to our second, third, and fourth point.
A poor Filipino family of 5 needs an additional monthly income of 2,198 pesos to move out of poverty. Analysis of the results of the annual poverty indicator survey suggests that the poor are not really getting any poorer, but they're not exactly getting any better as well. Their incomes are rising, albeit only as fast as inflation. Income tax cuts a huge chunk of the poor's disposable income. Imagine how beneficial the removal or reduction of income tax would be if the poor could have more of their income allotted for necessities. If a 2016 presidential could suggest the abolition of taxes for the poor, then this move could really be a viable action to fight poverty.
Records and statistics show that the Philippines is experiencing an economic growth. This result, however, doesn't agree with the unemployment rates of the country. How then can we validate this so-called economic growth when there are so many unemployed Filipinos in the country? Majority of the Filipino mass doesn't have a job, therefore leading them to live a life of poverty. This will be tackled on point number 4.
The problem of unemployment still serves as one of the major setbacks in a supposedly developing economy. The government, particularly the president, should solve the problem one step at a time. One of the steps that should be taken is by offering vocational courses to strengthen the labor force. According to recent statistics, the unemployment rate in the Philippines is 7.5%, with only a 1.35% chance of improvement, and only about 65% of the population with the age of 15 and above is looking for work. Not only do the high unemployment rates connect to the low labor force of the country, they also relate to the growing issue of urban poverty.
People would always aim for improvement. That is why we flock to places which can offer us with the best opportunities. This, however, becomes an issue when these areas and resources become limited. This leads us to the fifth and our last point.
Illegal settlements have been a problem in the Philippines since after World War II. Most cases of illegal settlement resulted from people moving to areas wherein they can have a better style of living. Therefore, relocation sites and public housing offered to these informal settlers should be near working areas. so that they may alleviate themselves from their poor living conditions. The settlement areas should be situated in places with an economic capacity to provide its occupants with enough jobs and resources